Hey everybody, Koricon Nerd here, and today we got the release of the making of 2.0, the 3D featurette. Now, I'm assuming the movie is coming out in 3D, and so they're going through like what kind of stuff they did to utilize the 3D or film in 3D. Or maybe it's just the transfer from 2D to 3D in the post-production. I'm not sure if they filmed with 3D cameras or not. That's probably what they'll go over in this, if they did or if they didn't. But yeah, I would assume it's about what they're doing to make the movie so they have 3D releases. And it's not a featurette that's in 3D. Because it's on YouTube, so I don't have a 3D monitor with 3D glasses. So, well, let's just check it out. We'll see what they got for us, and we'll go over it afterwards. Oh, the subtitles are in Hindi.
This film was shot in 3D.
Oh, because he's talking in English.
The script demanded the 3D technology for this movie.
So they filmed in 3D. That's
3D gets you
interesting.
right in the middle of the action. And because we have not seen it so much in India, it's almost magical. Everything looks much bigger.
Shankar wrote this script keeping 3D in mind. That is the most important thing.
That's crazy that they're
Working
filming in
3D is
3D.
a lot harder than I imagined, from the setup to the extent of how perfect things really need to be in every single shot.
When you're
Yeah.
shooting for 2D, you're shooting a flat image. But when you're shooting for 3D, you're shooting in space.
That's a lot more difficult.
They shot in 2D and then they converted into 3D in the post-production.
The depth that you can create in shooting native 3D is brilliant.
But this film was shot in latest 3D camera directly.
It was our intention to invite the audience into the movie by presenting them a true sense of presence in the earliest scenes.
That's pretty cool.
After every
I'm
shot,
actually
I
getting
sit in the
more
director's chair with a pair
excited
of
now.
High-tech 3D glasses to check your shot.
And I'm seeing the shot on the monitor. I feel like I am there where the story is happening.
If you take a picture in a forest, every leaf on every tree, every blade of grass has an individual depth. As the movie goes on and the drama becomes more dynamic, at that point we increased the 3D to bring most of the action between the screen and the audience so that it plays right inside the theater.
There are a lot of visual effects scenes and a lot of action scenes are there in this film. And you can enjoy those visual effect scenes and the action scenes in 3D. Audience also is going to get excited to see their star very close to their face.
The first
They
3D shot
did a...
I saw on a small screen. I will repeatedly.
I hope they don't
watching
do
it
too
around
many
the
of
time.
the cheap 3D.
I will appreciate
things.
Shankar because it was.
I'll go over that in a minute.
More than a movie,
Previous.
it's an experience. That experience can be fully tapped by 3D technology only.
As for 3D in India, it is such a rare experience that the excitement is tenfold.
I'm waiting to see audience reaction. And I assure you, it is not less than any big Hollywood 3D movie.
I hope this film will encourage a lot of producers to come up with 3D films, and a lot of theaters will be converted into 3D theaters. I hope it will happen after this movie.
Yeah, there's a... Costs a lot of money, though, to film in 3D. Those cameras are expensive, man. Those cameras are expensive. Alright, so... With 3D cameras, what you're doing is you're really filming with 3 cameras at the same time, with different focuses. So you may have a deep focus on one camera and then a shallow field in another camera, and then a mid field with the other camera. But they have different focus lengths. So like when you're doing dramatic stuff or just walking around, if the picture is still and there's really nothing moving, it's just exposition and dialogue, then you may have a kind of a shallow depth of field where you get to see the background and it's in 3D, but it's not super 3D. Like it looks like something might be far away in a room, but it's not like right in your face. And then what he was mentioning later on is he was saying when the action sequences happen, they increase that depth of field. So it makes it seem like, the core characters are focused really tight in with an extremely shallow field. And then the background is like focused way far out. So it kind of stretches the action sequence so that your principal movement is happening closer in a way towards the audience. So you can see inside this camera, it's super wide. You can see the panels of the cameras in there. I think this only has 2 cameras. Maybe I was wrong about the 3 cameras, but I thought that's what... Oh, this might be a different company. That's what it is. So I think the 3 camera setup was what James Cameron did for Avatar, because his company developed the first 3D cameras. This may be a different company, and they're doing something with either 2 cameras, or maybe it's got 4 cameras. I mean, we only see 2 panels, so there could be just multiple camera or lenses behind that. But anyway, you can see there's multiple cameras inside of this, and it's a lot wider, so you can get wider shots. But what they were mentioning in there with the director of photography, this guy, who has an epic beard, by the way. I do like that beard. He was saying it's a lot more difficult, and Akshay was also saying that you have to be really precise of how everything looks in frame, and he's right. You have to be extremely precise and know where everything is located, and you have to move in only the places that you're supposed to be moving in for the most part, just because it's so hard to keep the focus of everything. You move off just a little bit and the stuff in the background's not in focus anymore, even if your principal front part stuff is in focus. It's very difficult to work with, but it's pretty cool. Now, they had some stuff later on, right there. That is I don't like scenes like that, because what they're doing is they're basically going, we are in 3D. Like they have things that go towards the camera on purpose to make it look 3D. It's fine that you do a couple of those just because it's fun to play with the 3D aspect of it, playing with your audience. It looks horrible later on if you watch it in 2D, because you're like, what is that all about? Most famously in the 80s, when they first started playing with 3D, it was more red and green. So they just moved the colors red and green at different distances, and you would put on red and green glasses, and that's what made the 3D effect. And they would do things like in Friday the 13th Part 3, which was 3D. They would have things like this girl had a mop or a broom, and she would be like, what? It looks so stupid. You're like, why are you pointing it at the camera? Now, if you have the 3D glasses, it makes sense. Everybody in the audience is like, whoa, especially in the 80s. But the movie it's only on 2Ds now. You can only watch it on regular 2D because they don't have the red and green thing. But so it just looks weird that she's pointing this broom really slow at the camera. So I don't like that too much. I don't like that they're doing things like, I hope it's minimal. You know, this scene, a couple of scenes just for fun, but I don't want it in excess of like, we've got 3D, you know, or someone just going, what? Or a broom. Oh my gosh. I don't want any of that. But again, you know, a couple of times, that's fine. You're having fun with the audience. But don't do it too much. I hope they don't do it too much. And they're just showing a couple of scenes to show that they're doing it in 3D. See, this is what this is why I was saying 3 cameras. If you look at the fist, you have the main fist right in the middle. That's your close focus. But then you can see the shadows on the right and left of the fist, which are your other cameras in focus. That's why I thought 3 cameras, but it might even be 4, because it looks like there might be another shadow. But I think it's just 3. It could just be the way that looks. So even though we saw 2 panels on that camera, and it could have been the angle that the camera was looking at it, but I think I was right that there is 3 cameras in there with a close, mid, and far depth of fields. So I'm surprised that they filmed with 3D cameras. Usually when you hear a movie is going to be in 3D, it's like they said, it's filmed in 2D and it's done in post-production. I don't like that. I don't like post-production 3D. I think it looks cheap. I tend to avoid those movies if I can. Sometimes I'm not able to just because of time. You know, the time that the movie gets released during the day, I can only see it at a specific time, and the only thing showing at that time would be 3D, and so I have to. But for the most part, I avoid 3D movies just if it's a 2D that's transferred. Now you have some movies like animated movies, CGI animated films. The transfer is fine with that just because it's just a computer software on top of a computer software. But when you're doing a 3D conversion to a 2D, it never really looks that good, in my opinion. But filmed in 3D, that's totally different. Those usually look really good in 3D because you purposely filmed it for 3D. The only problem is you have to make sure that you're not filming in 3D to where it doesn't look good in 2D, because the majority of your viewers are going to see it in 2D. They're not going to see it in 3D. And when it comes out on home video, the amount of people that are going to buy a 3D copy are very small. Most people are going to get DVDs, Blu-rays, or 4K. They may not get the 3D. The majority of people watching it in the theater are going to see the 2D. They're not going to see the 3D. So filming in 3D and all of that is very complicated. It's awesome that they're doing it, but I hope they also took into in mind that the movie has to play well in 2D, because it looks like all their monitors, they're looking at it in 3D. It's your middle camera, your mid-range, that you end up mostly dealing with when you have your 2D image. So we'll see. I think it's exciting. I'm actually more excited for this now than I was before. I think someone told me they were filming in 3D, but it seemed like something somebody made up. Like just to make the movie look cooler, or the information or where they got the information was a little shady. But obviously they are, and this is pretty cool. I'm impressed. I now know why the movie is so expensive, because using those are expensive cameras, man. Expensive cameras. But what do you guys think? Are you excited for Robot 2.0? What do you think of the 3D? I think the director of photography knows what he's doing. He seemed to be having a lot of fun figuring out how to utilize all of this. But what do you guys think? Comment below and let me know your thoughts. Are you excited for Robot 2.0? What do you think of them filming in 3D? Do you agree, disagree, or have other comments, things to add on to what I said? Let me know in the description below. Keep it civil down there. If you're on VidMe, upvote this, give me a follow and share it around. And if you're on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. And I will see you on the next video.